The launch of the Porsche Boxster back in 1996 was one of those unique moments in time, a turning point in history, in Porsche's history, one of the most important decisions Porsche ever made, with being credited as being the savior that pulled Porsche back from the brink of extinction, from the jaws of the great nothing. Boxster, on its debut, represented a significant step down in performance and power compared to its predecessors, the 928, the German muscle car. The 944 Turbo. Very beloved, or even the God-saying ascended Porsche 911. Porsche's troubles in the early 90s was self-inflicted. Producing these vehicles was very expensive for Porsche. Basically, none of them shared components. None of them were interchangeable with each other. You know, most car manufacturers had platform vehicles where they could switch out this platform to make this car, and this car could be swapped over to make this car, and they could, you know, swap the parts. But Porsche didn't do this until they had to, until their own survival depended upon it. And that's when they brought in some brilliant engineers. Now that's like a really exquisite piece of car facts, a little acorn of knowledge that these engineers were brought over from Japan, Toyota.
Oh my God! Wow!
And I'm sure you all know, the Toyota Spider looks a hell of a lot like the Porsche Boxster.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
So that's where the cross-pollination comes into play.
He wasn't wrong, I just saw it.
Anyhow, Porsche brought these guys over to help implement the most famous act, the just-in-time act, to create Porsche's own platform vehicle, their own part swapping, kissing cousins program. The Boxster was the first product of this new philosophy. It was designed from the ground up to share basically the whole front of the car with the upcoming 996, that generation's 911. Everything from the bumper, the hood, the mirrors, the doors, basically the whole front end of the car was the same as a 911, and even those god-awful headlights, they grow on you. They're not so bad after time. You end up liking them. But this also led to criticism to Porsche that they watered down their awesome 911.
No, God!
You know, how could you dilute the look of the 911? What a sacrilege.
Now cry! Cry like you've never cried!
This component sharing drastically cut production time, drastically cut the overall cost of producing a vehicle, and drastically saved Porsche's ass. It was a drop of power, a drop of price. After releasing the new Porsche Boxster, it faced heavy scrutiny. It was torn apart. It's a beautiful vehicle if you just give it a chance, but the Porsche purists, oh my goodness, they went after it with their pitchforks. The 968S was arguably the superior vehicle. The base model, however, came with a 5-speed 2.5 liter. This was an undeniable drop in, overall performance, but it made it very reasonable on the pocketbook. Always two sides of the coin. The Boxster, being a genuine entry point for the Porsche brand, came along with the stigmata of being the poor man's Porsche. However, The Boxster really harkens back to Porsche's glory days of roadster supremacy. The 550, that car really dominated the racetracks. But this low price really harkened back to the spirit of the 914. Got the stamp of a poor man's Porsche. Not a real Porsche. It's not a real Porsche. And when you say that, you're just speaking of your ignorance of Porsche. Porsche is midship racing awesomeness. And they proved this back in the 50s. This price point was Porsche's strategic masterstroke, the Obi-Wan Kenobi.
High ground.
The success to Porsche, truly a race car layout. With the midship design, its balance is so exquisite. Its handling is so right on. And then the engine of the little Boxster is really a watershed moment for Porsche. It was the first Porsche Boxster to be fitted with a wet sump. Now this was really an Achilles heel of the little 986. The design of the vehicle didn't permit a dry sump. So with the wet sump, as you took hard corners, that oil would slosh around and cause engine starvation to the IMS bearing. And we all know what happens next. Kaboomy! Destroying your gearbox, destroying your engine. It's a no bueno situation. However, a little fact known is the first Porsche Boxsters from 97 to 2000 came with a double bearing IMS bearing. Those are the ones to get. They're less prone to failure than the post 2000s, but you know, it's good to do your bearings every so often. Hardcore Porsche dudes, they can get it done in like 2 hours. It's really not a big inconvenience.
Line at 100%.
What do you think of that?
And another big change of this motor was it was the first Porsche Boxster water-cooled engine, liquid-cooled engine, stepping away from the great air-cooled. Do your IMS bearing, check your cylinder rings, you know, probably every 60,000 miles if you're OCD like me. And you know, never buy a Porsche Boxster that's been sitting a long time without doing the IMS bearing first. Like, don't even drive it, straight do the IMS bearing. You want to buy a Boxster that's driven every day and well maintained. Those are the ones to get. And you know, 1997, when the little Porsche Boxster was initially introduced to those journalists, their jaws dropped. Everybody loved it. It was absolutely mired in controversy and loved in secret. And you know, numbers don't lie. It was the success of the poor man's Porsche that propelled Porsche to this day to create some of the greatest sports cars ever seen by man. And it wouldn't have happened without this little car, without this quirky, awesome little performance vehicle. If you have a chance, pick one of these up, love it, take care of it. Make sure you do your water pump. You don't want to be out driving and have that go out on you. It sucks. And just watch that IMS bearing. Replace it every 20,000 miles. You'll love doing it. I'm convincing myself right here of every time I did an IMS bearing. I loved it. Loved it. But yeah, pick one of these up. You'll really enjoy it. It's really a cool car. Well, if you guys like what we're doing here, give a thumbs up, subscribe, be a part of this. Really love to have you here. But like I always say, I'll see you on the flip side. Until próxima. Ciao, ciao.
Oh my God!